The second session is we're going to talk about vision, mission, and guiding principle. And we're going to talk about to be successful that we need to apply the 5P principles. Very important in missions as a leaders that you have to have a missions, a vision. You have to have a vision. Well, why vision is important? Company without vision will go bankrupt. Well, guess what? The Bible have spoken about that one in Proverb 29, verse 18. It says that when there is no vision, the people perish, right? And therefore, in our life, in terms of what you do in your group, in your family life, you need to have a vision. What is exactly that? What is the vision that God has given upon you, to you? Now, what is a vision statement? A vision statement is a vision statement outline what a company want to be in the futures. A vision statement describe the desired of the future position of the company. Okay, that's a vision statement. You need to have a statement about what is exactly that you want to be in the future stage of your group, your company, your things that you want to do. Okay, excuse me. For example, Southwest, for example, the vision statement to become the world's most loved, most flown, and most profitable airline. Simple. IKEA, our vision is to create a better everyday life for many people. Patagonia, build the best product, cause no unnecessary harm, use business to inspire and implement solutions and to the environmental crisis. My group in the IT group is to be the best IT solution provider to the whole company. A simple statement. And yes, our church has we have a vision transforming our communities. A very simple statement. That is our visions. Now, mission statement. When you have a vision, then you have a mission. Mission is sort of like the breakdown in terms of how do you achieve your vision. Sort of like when you're talking about goal and objective, right? Goal is sort of like the big of the thing that you want to achieve. Objective, sort of like the delineation in terms of what it is that need to be done. Mission statement is define the company business, its objective, and its approach to reach those objectives. Mission statement focus on today's and what the organization does to achieve it. CBC mission statement. By anointing of the Holy Spirit, we are commissioned to transform our communities through sharing the gospel, equipping believers, and planning the church. Four essential questions regarding mission. It has to have what we do, how do we do it, whom to do it for, and what value that we bring. Again, for my team, for the information technology team to be the best solution, the best IT solution provider, we have 5 different missions. We have to be business focused, excellent in services, trusted advisor, measure and manage, continually improve. Okay, so you need to create in each one of you. If you have not done so, by the way, I know think about the vision. Vision is like, what is exactly the future state that you're going to be? And the vision is always basically sort of like far, far away, right? Transforming the community. Well, it's really a long term, right? You always continually transforming the community, one community, a next community, a city, a states, another states, and the nations, and then the world. Now, visions and the missions. Excellent that you have a vision, excellent that you have a missions, but those only can operate when you have a guiding principle to guide them, to ensure when you're achieving the goals that within the parameters of the guiding principle. So always important: vision, mission, and guiding principle. Those three are the triangle, the most important thing as a leader that you need to have. What is the guiding principle? Guiding principle is a value representing a broad philosophy that guides the organization throughout its life in all circumstances, is irrespective of changes in the goal, strategy, and type of work. So remember, the guiding principle, in a nutshell, the guiding principle has to remain the same, regardless, basically, change in strategy, change in goal, change in objective. The guiding principle has to be the same. The value, right? How basically the value. So it is the value proposition. It's a guiding principle. It never changes. So, for example, and mentioned that basically we start up a company. It's an augmented reality company called the Morpho Studios. Um, so our guiding principle is adhering to the honesty, integrity, and sincerity. So contribute positively as a thought leaders, self-motivated, goal-oriented, quality-driven, with a can-do mentality, deliver commitment, adhering to the company vision, promote teamwork, be a model citizen. Whatever that is in your company, whatever it is in your group, whatever it is in your family, you need to have a guiding principle. That guiding principle, it never changes. It remains the same. It always guide the vision and the mission to achieve the goal within that parameters. Now, this next segment is we're going to learn about the 5 Ps and how to achieving success and the mindsets. The 5 Ps are: number one, in order to be successful, you need to have a purpose. Number two, you need to have a plan. Number three, you need to have preparations. Number four, you need to have a pursuit. You have to pursue. Number five, you have to perform. Well, what does that mean? It's very important, by the way, in anything that you do. You can apply this 5 principle in your work life, in your family life, in if you want to go to vacation, for example, you need to have this 5P in order for you to be successfully enjoying in terms of the plan itself, right? The purpose, okay? So let's, in the next slide here, I have a simple, an example, a matrix, basically. Let's say if you want to go to vacation. All right, the purpose is vacation. Well, what is the plan? Okay, what is the you have to design basically or determine what is the destination, how many days, how much dollars, that you are prepared to spend on your vacations. Number three, when you're talking about preparations, once you have those, the purpose and the plan, then you prepare it basically. When is it? What flight it takes? What hotels? What restaurant? What places to visit, right? And all of those that you have to prepare. And then number four, once the opportunity come, once the date come, once you have all that money and everything that you prepared, then you execute the plan. You go, basically. You execute anything that you already have in your plan, in your preparations. You pursue, you execute the plan. Number five, basically in the performance, then you enjoy the plan. Enjoy basically, okay, I'm on vacation. The purpose is vacation. Then go on vacation. Don't bring works, by the way. I fail sometime on those, but sometime when you are on vacation, you have to be the time to decompress, right? Really let it go, and then just focusing, enjoying uh, the creation of God, whatever it is that you want to go. Enjoy. That's the performance. When you're talking about, let's say your purpose is to achieve a higher education, will be that one a training, certification, or school? You have to know basically what is the plan, what skills basically that I want to improve, what degrees that I want to achieve. Okay. I encourage you, each one of you, for those who have achieved basically your bachelor's degree, or for those who have not, hey, start. It's not too late, basically. Nothing is late. Okay. Well, I'm too old. There is no old in learning. You can always learn something. Okay. Continue to learn, continue to learn, continue to improve. Again, going back to an example of this, if the purpose is higher education, all right, what school? What training school? How much dollars? How much is going to cost? How long it will take? So all of those you have to plan basically. Don't just go. In order to be successful, you have to plan those. You have to know on the get-go what is it takes. All right, the preparation. All right, some of the uh, some of the classes, for example, or school or training, maybe it required a prerequisite, it required a test, it required a whatever. Uh, some of the management school that I do basically required for me to get a before you can be accepted, you have to know why do you want to apply for this school, by the way, why do you want to take this training, and all of those, right? And then let's say if we don't have enough money, well, guess what? The preparation, you have to start preparing that financials, all right? Whether you can uh, I was very fortunate when I was in at Union Oil. They were able to um, basically provide the funding for my management school at Claremont Graduate School at that time. Well, the same thing with you. The preparation, maybe you want to ask of your company basically, hey, boss, I'm planning to improve upon myself on this skill that I have, and therefore that I can, in terms of for future consideration for promotions. Okay, this is the classes, or maybe you can talk to her basically, or him basically, what classes to take, what degree to take, right? Prepared, and ask them basically, hey, is there any financial aid in the company? Maybe some of them not giving you 100%, maybe they give you whatever it is, 10%, 20%, 50%. It's good, right? You prepared on those, so at least on the get-go you can count basically, well, how much is it, the estimation of the time, of the money, right? When you're talking about pursuing, once you have all of those, when you have the plan and the preparation, then you pursue, you apply to the school, right? When to apply, how to apply, what are the things required to be accepted in that school, basically, right? And then 5, performing. Once you get accepted, then you have to perform, right? It's very important, the performance is. Many people has a good vision. Many people has good purpose, plan, preparation, and pursuit, but they fail in performance. Well, then it's not successful. You have to perform. At the end of the day, you have to perform anything that you do. Promotion, for example, if you want to be promoted, as I mentioned earlier, it is very important to consider this when I mentioned basically you have to perform in the level that you want to be promoted of. So in a promotion, discuss with your managers. That's why very important earlier when we talk about you have to be flexible. Excuse me, let me drink some water here. Discuss with your manager. You have to have good rapport with your direct manager. Remember, if you don't, your life will be miserable. So learn how to win his or her heart. And so that's part of the thing that we're going to talk not today, but the next session. We're going to learn about that communication skill. So you have to know basically who is your audience, who is your manager, who is your customer, who is your the other side of it. What are the things? How are you going to be able to gain to get approvals to close the deal, so to speak, right? And that communication style will be very important. um, Going back to that promotion and career. So if that the purpose basically, hey, I want to be promoted, I want to be moved to the next level. Okay, discuss that one with your manager. What is being required? What are the skills that I need to be, and what are the performance, or what are the things that I need to do? Right, seek a new opportunities, for example. And then that's a very important, by the way, when you're talking about promotability and in terms of the planning, when you discuss this one with your managers, always being flexible, being helpful. All right, always ask, how can I help you? Remember, your manager is always busy. There's so many things in his or her plates. And then for you to be promotable, for you to be more basically to be on the top of his or her list, make yourself available. Make yourself basically being able to put more time to help to alleviate basically the burden from his or her work. I mean, his or her work. And it's very important. Yes, it does require of you to spend more time. Yes, it does require for you to spend more energy. Yes, in time to time, a little bit more tiring. When everybody's go home, guess what? You're still there. When everybody clock out at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, you're still working. That's what it takes, right? So plan, discuss with your manager. Always remember, you have to have a good rapport. If you don't have a good rapport, it's going to be very difficult for you to get promotions. Always remember that. Three, in preparation, all right, once you to have the discussion, basically, then basically you start, okay, well, I need to enhance my skill in this. Maybe I don't have a good skill in leadership. Well, a lot of learning in leadership. Read the books, take trainings, the training that you're taking right now. Want you to take the training, by the way, apply that knowledge. Apply that knowledge, okay? Uh, Preparing the resume, and then in a, let's say, if you want to apply a new job, okay, you gotta prepare for the resumes. Prepare a good resume. Again, in our church, there are many professionals, and that can help out. The church on San Diego. In prior years, we have a what we call the career days, where people bring their resumes and we play a role, basically being the interviewer and the interviewees. We review their resumes and all of those. It's good stuff. That's what this church is all about, right? And then it's a body of Christ. We help each other. We people who has a lot of knowledge, the know-how will help. I if you wanted me to review resume, send it to me. More than happy to help out. Uh, interview prep is very important. What are the skills? How to prepare? Is very important in an interview in terms of how do you dress? How do you convey your message in clear ways? How can you not be nervous? Interview can be a nerve-wracking exercise, right? But if you do a lot of prep, with your brothers and sisters, anyone, and then at least that you will have a better way what to expect, right? preparation. If you're learning about the company, I've interviewed, I hired many staff during my careers, and then one of the questions that I always ask, so what do you learn about our company? And then if he or she didn't even prepare to learn about the company that she's applying for, the interview will be very quick, maybe about 10 minutes, and I'll let them go. Because then this person doesn't have the interest in terms of understanding what the company is. A lot of preparation, basically, in terms of what it is to be successful in an interview, right? So that's the preparation. Number 4, when the opportunity comes, when you interview the job, basically, right? Of course, again, you're sending the resume, you make sure your resume is excellent in terms of the wording, make sure there's spell checks and everything else. Make sure 2-3 people review those, provide input how to make it better, right? And then when you're in the pursuit, basically you're being interviewed, right? And then thank God if you got the job. Again, once you get the job, guess what you have to do? You have to do the job successfully. It's very important, basically, in the performance. Once you get the job, again, when you're talking about the plan, the purpose, the plan, preparation, the pursuit, and performance, this is always a continuous cycle, by the way. Once you got the job, you have to do the purpose, the plan, planning, pursuit, and performance again. Why? So, for example, when I got a job at Disney or at IAPMO, I make a plan. I make a plan. Basically, I'm discussing with my manager. I make a plan. This is my 100 days. This is my goal in 100 days. This is the thing that I want to accomplish. I list all of them. And then every weeks, I have a meeting, one-on-one meeting with my management. And then this is the thing is complete. This is the complete. This has not been completed. There are some challenges. All of those, what it does is basically allowing you basically to train, to allow your management to see that you are a prepared person. You are a planning person. You are trying to achieving the next level, basically, and providing that communication, proactive communication, allowing them to understand, wow, I feel basically from the management standpoint of view, when you have a staff that providing all that information, he or she feel basically, I'm secured. My staff is handling that project, and I know exactly where is the progress on that projects. Okay? The mindset. Now, the plan, the preparation, the planning, the preparation, the pursuing, and the performance, all of those basically the things that we need to do. Now, in order to achieve those, there are 5 mindset, or there are many mindset, but I'm picking up this 5, which is very important, by the way. In order to be successful, remember, in each of those steps, in terms of the purpose, the planning, the preparation, the pursuit, and the performance, each along the way, there are many challenges and obstacles, correct? Now, for example, interviewing a new job. Well, number 1, you got to find the job, right? Whether you're qualified or not qualified, assuming you're qualified, right? There are many different challenges. How do you create a good resume? How do you create resume that resonate to the interviewer, to interviewers, right? To your future employers. So along the way, there are many different challenges in terms of in the performance. There are many challenges, and I see in the list one of my a few of colleagues of mine from IAPMO, Mr. Ahanas, a good brother in the Lord, executive vice president. He knows basically once you're in the job, there are many challenges, many challenges. Failure may comes, unexpected may comes. You need to have this mindset to be successful. Number 1, you have to be passionate. You have to be passionate in terms of what you do. Showing a cause a strong feeling about strong belief. You have to believe basic in terms of what you do. You have to be passionate in terms of what you do. If you don't, when the problem comes, you're going to give up easily. Number two, you need to have a perseverance. Perseverance is basically steadfastness in doing something despite difficulty or delay. When there's a delay, there's a difficulty, you have to persevere. Yes, you have to tell sort of like the break news to your management or to your stakeholders, in terms of, hey, the project was supposed to be done in certain amount of time or this date. Unfortunately, because of these challenges, we have to delay that one. So, but you have to have that perseverance. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Number three, you have to be persistent. Now, the difference between perseverant and persistent, according to the definition, persistent is when basically you have to stand firm, continuance in the course of action despite difficulty or opposition. So, for example, in persistent, when you're trying to enlarge your business, you want to expand your business, that's going to be difficulty. For example, probably you need permitting, you need to hire more people, you need to have quality people. There is going to be some difficulty, but you have to be persistent, believing. You have to have passionate mindset, basically, that I'm going to achieve that goal. One thing that you have to remember, by the way, the one that is worthwhile, it's always required the perseverance and persistency, right? Going to school, you want to graduate in 4 years, by the way. That's a lot of work that you have to do. A lot of work you have to do. A lot of homeworks, a lot of tests, a lot of quizzes, a lot of reading the books, a lot of work group, labs, you name it, basically. A lot of things that need to be done. But if you have the passion, perseverance, and persistency, you can achieve the goal. Number four, purposeful, having a showing determination and resolve. Again, I believe I can do it. This is my purpose, to achieve my degree, to achieve my higher education, to achieve my promotion, to go on vacation, whatever that is, you have to be purposeful. Excuse me. Patience, being able to accept, tolerate delays. When there is a delay in achieving your goal, in achieving your success, by the way, you have to be patient. You have to be patient. Sometimes you have to have a timeline that you want to meet, but sometimes that timeline is a plan, right? And if you don't achieve in a timeline, don't give up. Tolerate delays. Be patient with your team. If your team is not producing in terms of what it needs to be done according to time, seek to understand. Seek to understand. Don't blame. Don't point fingers. Don't all of those. You have to be patient. You have to learn basically how being a leader in terms of encouraging, how being a leader, being able to seek to understand. How do you providing a tools? How can you providing your team to be that they can achieve the success? Okay. All right. That's the mindset. Has to be passionate, perseverance, persistent. He has to be purposeful, has to be patience. Now, in the biblical principle, by the way, there are some 5 P. Again, there are more than 5 P's, by the way. There are many P's you can. I'm just picking up the 5 P's that, in my opinion, that's very essential. But there's going to be some more essential, more than what I'm showing here. Number 1, a promise, a patience, prayer, praise, and peace. You need to have these 5. Well, what does that mean? Let me elaborate a little bit more. Promise. Always remember, earlier today, remember the promises of God, right? God has a plan for us, for good futures, for us. Okay. As I mentioned in the Bible, there are 3,500, if I recall correctly, 570 something or more. Okay. Someone did the calculation. There's that many of promises of God in our life. Okay, for each one of you. Okay. Number two has to be patience. Patient. Why? To imitate for those who through faith and patience inherit what has been promised. Through faith and patience, we have to be patient. There is the process itself. It takes times to do. The process itself. Looking back, basically, in the early 80s, when I work in those gas stations, when I work at 7-Eleven, when I work in the pizza place, when I work in the Jack in the Box, making $1.99 per hours, for example, um, I have to learn to patient. Basically, at that time, I don't have the education, I don't have the skills, I don't have the thing that I can be promoted. Well, through God promises, I believe that God will lead me to be a better life. And I have to be patient. It take process. Take process. And along the way, when you're remembering God promises and you remembering has to be patient, you have to be prayerful. As a matter of fact, uh, Dr. Paulton, our apostle, our senior pastor, he's going to talk about prayers. It's how important our prayer that life is. True prayers, by the way. Let me quote some of this. Whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive if you have faith. So you have to be prayerful. Uh, 1 Thessalonians 5:16 and 19. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances. And number three, Watchman, a very good man of God in China. He was prosecuted, by the way, because of he believed in the Lord. He was jailed until he died. Uh, Actually, the Watchman is not Ni is his Chinese. The Watchman it was sort of like his nickname. He liked to pray for China during the nighttime, and this is one of his definition regarding prayer. It says our prayer is like a laying a track down which God power can come, like a mighty locomotive. His power is irresistible, but it can reach us without rail. What does that mean? When you pray, basically, you are basically preparing the track for God as the locomotive will come. When He comes, basically, nothing is impossible. So through prayers, all things possible. Number four, which is I like basically praise. There's a time uh, in my life, basically, when there's so much challenges, so much difficulty, when the project doesn't go the way it's expected. Let's say it's missing the due date, the plan that you have, it doesn't go as is expected. One thing that for you guys have to remember, you can plan, but always remember that one. There are many possibilities that will derail the plan. Okay, whatever it is, whether it is in your control or out of your control, right? You have a team, one of your team member left the company. Well, guess what? That provide a difficulty in terms of your project timeline, or the project that you expect basically to complete in certain thing, and by the time you dive in, oh my goodness Lord, a lot more, or basically the anticipation, the requirement is a lot more than you anticipated. Therefore the time, the resources in it to complete, it take a lot more. Well, when in that time, I remember during working completing the Hong Kong Disneyland or the Shanghai Disneyland, there are many challenges of those. And then uh, I pray, I remember the promises, and I'm patient, but there's time, and it feels like your head is ready to blow up. That's, I don't know how to explain it. It's just so much pressure. But then when I praise, when I'm listening to a worship song, when I listen that one, and I feel God's presence in my life, I feel peace. And somehow all that confusion in my head, basically, God put everything back in order. And God gave me the strength to move forward. God gave me the encouragement. John, you can do it. I'm with you. I'm with you. And it's wonderful. And then last but not least, basically the peace of God, right? And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your heart, your mind in Christ. That's exactly what it is. Always, I'm, wherever I am today is because of the grace of God. It is truly, my brothers and sisters. Yes, I learned a lot in terms of management. Yes, I learned a lot in terms of completing many large projects, complex projects, multi-billion-dollar projects when you're building a theme park and those kind of things. Uh, yes, all of those are accomplishment. But in for me to achieve, in order for me to achieve that one, is because God blessing is upon my life. Without him, it's going to be very difficult for me because I'm a person that is very difficult uh, to learn failures. Failure is very difficult for me to face. Challenges is very difficult for me. But yet, throughout this 30 years of journey working as a practitioner, as a manager, as an executive, when I walk with God, His peace is the one that guard my heart, guard my mind, to allow me to be always stay in the path. Yes, knowingly there's difficulty, knowingly there's some challenges, knowingly you are being blamed for certain things that does not happen. Yes, the accountability is on your shoulder. You feel the burden and everything else. But then when there is a time, I always, instead of running away from God, instead of blaming God, I was reaching out back to Him. God, here I am. I made mistake. It didn't happen to the way it is. Please help me. And somehow when I pray, when I praise, when I remembering His word, His peace always come. When that peace come, oh my goodness, Lord, on all those burden, the one that difficulties, it's gone. It's gone. No, it's not necessary in front it will be gone, but inside there is a confidence, there is a faith that rising up that help me to overcome my own self fears, to be able to have the higher confidence, knowingly basically, yes, it can be done, it can be successful. One of my son, when he graduated, uh, during the graduation, the principal, he said this, and I remember this is my youngest son, Kenneth, when he graduated in high school, his principal said this one: try to fail and not fail to try. I'm going to allow you to read that one, make sure that you understand the meaning of that one. Try to fail, not fail to try. I hope you get it. Try to fail. You keep try until the end. If it's fail, then you try until to fail, but not fail to try. Okay. You have to be driven. You have to be disciplined in terms of what you do. You have to be determined in terms of what you need to be done. Dedicated, passionate, and you have to be dependable. I like Thomas Alva Edison put, I have not failed. I just found 10,000 ways that doesn't work. Amen. Another thing is, read this one: 10% of inspiration and 90% of perspiration. That is very true. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, what we learn here, when we do our part, God expects for us to perform on the task that's being given to us. Don't give up. There's some challenges in there, but try to fail and not fail to try. Okay. Somebody just text me that the voice is choppy. I hope that you can listen. Garrett, give me a thumbs up if I'm okay now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Again, try to fail, not fail to try. Okay? Has to be driven, discipline, determination, dedication, and dependable. When you fail, don't give up. Don't give up. When you fail again, don't give up. Don't give up, because what? The next try will be successful. Always be persistent, perseveres. Okay? 10% inspiration, 90% perspiration. That means you have to do your part. You have to work on that one. Again, my definition of success: success is not being the best, but rather being better than the past. Okay? Oh, thank God. I'm done in less than 45 minutes. I hope I didn't, I can speak clearly and concisely to you. Again, if I may ask, what are your 3 takeaways? And if you send that one through chat, and probably we can open the session basically for Q&A in a few minutes. Let's do that one. Let's take about 2-3 minutes. And what are your takeaways on the second session? Excellent takeaway. Excellent. Persistence and perseverance. Break down the 5P that fit every scenario. That's right. Every occasion, any plan, anything that you want to do, you can use the 5Ps. Not to give up easily. Absolutely. Don't give up. Don't give up. The next try will be your success way, or you're achieving that goal. That's right. There is no shame in keep trying, by the way. It is very true. Very true. The devil is the one that shaming us, but then don't take it. Keep pursuing, keep working on that one, keep improving. Anything in the area. If you fail, by the way, learn from the failures, right? And what are the things that can be improved? If somebody provide you an input, by the way, don't feel ashamed. Take it, learn it, improve upon it. Excellent. Vision and mission. Absolutely. You need to have vision and mission. The 5P. Yep. Try to fail and not fail to try. Don't be afraid to take chances. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the only thing, always prepared basically when you take the chances, right? Don't just without the preparation, without the 5P. You have to purpose basically. Why do I need to take the chance? What is the purpose? You need to have that purpose. Being passionate in your job, your goals. Yes, without passion, you're not going to be able to achieve your goal. It's very difficult. You have to be passionate, because through passion, that's the thing that is going to allow you to achieve that goal. Because knowingly, the process in achieving that goal, there are always some obstacle. There's challenges that you have to overcome. You have to have that passion. You have to have that purpose and understanding. Any degrees that you want to achieve, by the way, whether that one in music, whether that one in business, whether that one in English, literatures, engineering, law, whatever it is, the degree that God has given upon you, you have to be passionate. You have to love what you do. Okay, there's a question here. In terms of interview things, you share mention about what do part. Do you have any advice what do not do part? Oh, for example, asking dollars during interviews. Yes, during the interviews, there are many different strategies in terms of how to interviews, and asking dollar is, in my opinion, it is important. You have to prepare it. You have to know basically the value of your skill, your experience, right? You can do scanning on your market, basically whatever that is, so you have to be prepared on those, right? And because if you're not prepared, then that question will be asked. Well, how much money would you like to make? And if you don't know the answers, then it shows that you're unprepared. So the preparing in terms of how much is the value in terms of the package, you have to remember, each company has a different package right now, from the health point of view, retirement, profit sharing, stock option. So many of those that you have to calculate. It's not a simple way to do. Okay, how to ask a raise wisely, or any strategy beside you need courage? How to ask? Oh, okay. How to ask a raise wisely and any strategy. Okay, good. I would say if you want to ask a raise, number one, you have to, there are many different consideration that you have to do, consider wisely. Number one, how is the company performing financially, right? Number two, how is it basically the marketplace in terms of your job and skills? Number three, right? Again, for example, we're in a COVID-19. Probably many company are, trying to stay afloat in terms of funding, try to keep the light on, for example, right? So you have to be careful on those, right? Probably in the normal years, for example, if you have X amount of percentage of pay raise, maybe you have a bonuses. Maybe last year you did not, and so you have to be flexible on those, right? You have to be careful in terms of be wise in terms of asking on those. Now, if everything is good and everything, your performance is well, and you have been performing, you have been contributing above and beyond, then basically you could ask. It is okay basically to ask. How to ask? I would say number one, pray first. Prepared basically in terms of, I would say prepare what are your accomplishments the last 12 months, the last month. Is your accomplishment basically above and beyond? Right? And then if there's any cost saving that you've done, any efficiency that you can complete, for example, let's say effectiveness, all of those basically, all the things that you can bring up to the management to show basically the value that you bring to into the discussion. But prepared, again, if you want to talk to me on that one, send me an email. I'm more than happy to coach you on this one, because there's many different things that you have to preparing on those. How do you feel about micromanagement? Micromanagement, being a manager, I strongly believe in terms of not to do micromanagement, but so in general, I do basically what we call the MBO, management by objective. You can Google this. Peter Drucker basically, it's he basically sort of his teaching. By the way, Peter Drucker is the one who built General Motors, by the way. So very talented person. knowledge. He is an advisor to many presidents, to many ministers. So I assume if you're studying in school in management, you learn a lot about his books. So now going back to the micromanagement, I would say depending on the situation, depending on that, there are certain ways that you have to be able as a leader to go basically and micromanage. But then you micromanage in certain ways that you don't do it every time, sort of like you do spot checking, if you want to call it that way. You micromanage certain period of time and then you let it go. You have to empower your team. You empower your team to your team can grow. But remember, part of that one is you being a manager. You have to mentor them. Failure is part of their. You know, they do. I mean, they have to fail. I mean, we fail. I fail. Everybody fails. You know, but you being a mentor, being a manager, is how do you lead them basically from how can they improve upon what they can learn from the failures, right? So. Okay. Are there any specific courses you recommend in taking to strengthen your leadership and business skills? Yes, there's a lot of the books that I mentioned, by the way, earlier. Um, Seven Habit of Highly Successful People. You can read that one. It's a very good by Stephen Covey. As a matter of fact, that's the audio as well. John Maxwell, I mentioned, by the way, there's a training in leadership by John Maxwell. There's a lot of books that he written. Excellent, excellent book. John Maxwell was a pastor in San Diego, by the way. His book is one of the most highly sought, basically, in terms of management. He's an advisor to a president, to many, many different leaders in this world. Uh, Again, many many books, and of course the most important thing in my opinion, be faithful in terms of what you learn. I learn a lot basically from my pastors. Yes, he probably not operating in the word of being what we call on the careers or the business, like, but I can translate that one. I can understand, as you can see basically from the very first session, all of those from the word of God I can learn basically. So as whoever it is preaching, I'm listen tended intentionally, and I write it down basically what is God speaking to me, and that will improve upon ourselves. All right. So in closing, in 30 seconds here, my apologies, it'll be late. Okay, so practice what you learn. Okay, the next session, I'm not sure is Dion that or Garrett has the dates, and you will inform that. The next session is that we're going to talk about communication style. We're going to learn about best practices, role and responsibility, the SMART goal, the SWOT, the Eisenhower matrix, and so on. There's a lot more that I can share with you what works and how to apply that one in terms of real life. Um, on the next session, by the way, there will be a worksheet that must be turned before the next session. The worksheet is very simple. Basically, it's an assessment of your communication style. Okay. Again, number 4, if you need additional information, that is my email address, johnphadi@cityblessing.org, or my Lincoln, or Pastor Dion, or Garrett, or just reach out to anybody in City Blessing. We'll get back to you. Okay? With that, I would like to thank you, and especially for those who are staying late, for those in Hong Kong, Dario, Beatrice, and everybody else, and also in Indonesia. And I appreciate for spending time with me, and thank you for everything. And I turn the time to Pastor Paul.
Thank you very much, Pastor John. Give him a big hand. Praise the Lord. I don't know about you, but I took a lot of pictures. I took a lot of screenshots, and I will review it again. And I want to encourage you, because this session is recorded, I want you to listen to it again, because there are great points. And I am really, really proud of Pastor John, because he he shared this training based on the Word of God, and you can see that the Word of God is very relevant even in for our days right now. And if I can add a little bit about several books that may equip you. Pastor John mentioned about John Maxwell. Yes, that is very, very good. I have about, I don't know, maybe 400 books in my iPad alone. That is in my e-book. And I want to encourage you to just check the website. And John Maxwell has very different options of good books, like Good Leaders Ask Good Questions. Pastor John mentioned about a book by Stephen Covey. And do you know that I learned from my friend who works at Panda? He's the VP of Panda, and he said that everyone who wants to work at Panda, they have to read that book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And after that, they have to be tested. And there are many areas in how you can equip yourself in whatever area. If you want to be equipped in the politics, you can read many books about good books, like from Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and you can read books from Jim Garlow. It's about well-versed. It's about government. And you can learn, if you want to learn about a prayer, you can learn from Dot Sheets, from Cindy Jacobs. You want to learn about business profession. You know, one of the books that I have in my iPad is From Zero to Wealth. It is written by Omar Pieru. And who is this guy? I happen to know that by the age of 34, he retired because he sold his business for $145 million. And that business is what is now known as LA Fitness. There are many principles, and this man also loved Jesus. And there are many books that we can learn to equip ourselves. I also have Nikki Haley's book in my app here. You can also read, this book by Chris Volaton. He's one of the associate pastor of Bill Johnson, Poverty, Riches, and Wealth. There are many books that we can recommend you, but as leaders, we need to be readers in every areas that you want to be equipped. There are many things available right now.